Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's episode we're going to test out the Platinum Edition, all the Claas DLC. So there should be something for everybody in here, and I'm going to basically talk about and run through all the little pieces of equipment and test some of them out and see what it's all about. So let's get going here. So I think first here I'm going to start with this Class 180 SL with the C510 header. This would be for your, smaller operations, starting out, what have you. Let's get in the cab here and see what it looks like. I got everything folded out. So let's get started up. I mean, inside the cab is, it's not bad, It's nice for an older piece of equipment. Alright. Get here in the oats over here. Short little pipe, but I mean it's such a it's such a small machine. Let's we're not going to put the straw swath on, but let's get it lined up. I'm not going to turn the GPS on or anything like that. I just want to go through everything, test it out, see what it's like, formulate some sort of opinion on it. It's such a this machine's got such a small header on it. Let's go on the outside view. Thought for a minute I was going a little slow, but I'm gonna turn the cruise on for a minute. Kind of work my way around here. Doesn't look bad. Not at all. And it's got some pretty decent sounds to it. It's weird. You got what looks like two tacks, but one is the tack and one is the speedo. So the dial right in front of the steering wheel, or right below the steering wheel, is the speedometer, or I'm sorry, the tack rather, and then the right next to that joystick on my right, that's the speedo. Leave it to the Germans to think of something strange like that. I'm going to turn around, go back, and move on to the next machine, because there's a lot of pieces of equipment in this pack. So get cracking here. Oh, look at that. It's got that little flare out, that hydraulic flare out on the side of the header to like push the crops out of the way as you're harvesting. That's kind of interesting. It's pretty quiet in the cab. Yeah. I got a grain cart set up over here. I'll dump some of this grain in, and I even got a modded header that I want to try out with the 9800. So I'm hoping it'll work out real well. I'll finish the end of this row here. I'll pull over to the grain cart and dump these oats in there, and then move on to the next machine. It's obviously from the from giant, so all the functionality should be there. You know, hiring a worker and so on. I mean, you don't necessarily know how wonky they'll be because it's really dependent on what map you're on. Let me get rid of this menu here. Shut the combine, the header off there. I'll pull over here to this grain cart. Dump this in here. Really, that auger, I mean, it sticks out quite a ways. You could probably put a, you know, a little bit larger header on it. Obviously, the capacity isn't there like on the larger machines, but it sticks out far enough you could get a little bit larger header on there. Alright, let's move on to the next one. I'll get this machine parked across the way. These ditches are a little deep. I am currently playing on the southern Minnesota map, if anybody was wondering. So I'll park this thing up. Well, don't put her in the ditch. Call a wrecker to pull me out. Let's see, this machine here is the Tucano 580 coupled with the 770 Vario head. So I'm gonna get in here. I'll drop that trailer. Obviously, more of a modern machine. Probably a 2017, 2018 model. Unknown. Grab this header. Alright. I don't want to worry about mess. Oh, I don't want the straw swath on. Let's hop in here and we'll go this other direction for a minute. This interior is really nice. Zoom in a little bit. Take a peek around the machine. Tucano. I would think it's a Class 5 machine. But I don't know necessarily how their numbering system works. But I am going to set this dude. I'm going to hire a worker in this dude. I'll move on to the next. I got my speed turned way up, so you'll have to bear with me. So here we got the 8900 Lexion, and I think this is a 800, 1230 Convio header. So this is obviously their newest flagship model. Drop this trailer off here. Get this thing unfolded. It only comes with the tracks. It doesn't have a wheeled variation. I want to make sure that the straw swath's not on. Okay, no, it's not. It's got like a set of bogey wheels on the header. chopper sprays the chaff from side to side. Animation's not bad looking. Yeah. So I'm in here quite a bit quieter. Mirrors look good. Pop the cruise on. Oh, come on, cruise. There we go. We obviously saw the throttle animation. Yeah, that's nice. Bogey wheels on the ground there. And I'm missing some crop here. Yeah, it looks good. I'm gonna hire a worker on this dude. How about next piece? So I've got another 8900 with a Midwest 60-foot header, right? This is obviously a modded header. At the moment, I don't remember where it's from. I will try to put a link down in the description for anybody who's potentially interested. But I wanted to see if it'll work with this combine. It claims that you can attach this one to a 780, Claas 780 combine. So I'll get pulled up here, and I'm just going to pull into the field here in a minute and get the header hooked up. Oh, stay in the combine, dummy. I do like it when the mirrors work, because I tend to run, you know, like when I'm playing, you know, on by myself, I tend to sit inside the cab. You know, it gives you that realistic view. Okay, what I'm curious to know is if you put the auger out, will it clear the end of the header? And it will. Man, this is like a match made in heaven right here. I'm gonna put that auger back in. And I'm gonna let this dude come down here, because I'll stop this guy coming back, and I'm gonna get this big boy rolling that way. You know, 60 foot at a crack is, you know, is about as big as they come. And obviously this is a header that they use in Australia a lot, because they're covering hundreds of thousands of acres. So, you know, it's not a bad model. I don't know if it's U-dimmed or not. I believe it is. But it does have a dirt texture. It does wear. Hop in with this dude. See, I wonder why he's only doing like 3/4 of a row. Sometimes I don't understand that with some of the hired workers. They miss so much that, you know, they're not necessarily as efficient as you would like. But pull over here to the grain cart, get this dumped off, because I didn't want to sit here and dump everything on the ground. Don't hit that auger. Get this guy dumped out. I'm gonna pop back over to this other machine. I don't necessarily know if I like the sound per se. It doesn't. It almost sounds like it's laboring to me, but you know, I've never heard one in real life, so who am I to judge? So, interior, I mean, interior is real nice. That animation texture isn't bad. It seems a little fast, but I mean, as you can clearly see, I'm going to just put the auger out because I want to know if you can see it out the left window. I don't think you can. No, it didn't go out. Oh, it's because I hit hired worker. That's why. My mistake. Yeah, you can see it. The rotation angle should be a little farther forward, but you could still, I'm going to pop the worker back on for a minute so it cuts a straight row. So yeah, I'll definitely have to try to link this header in the description of the video, or at least try to get it posted up in the comments. If anybody's, like I said, if anybody's interested, I really like using it. You know, I was just curious if it would work with this combine or not. So I'm gonna let this dude go. I'm gonna go grab the grain cart and pop over to that other hired worker that I had going, because apparently he is nearly full. Get this guy out of the way. Nice. Alright, get this guy parked up right here. So I got this Elmer's 1300 bushel grain cart, the Hallmaster, coupled to a Xerion 4000 series on narrow duals. Put this auger in, hop in the cab. Pretty, you know, most of us have seen this before, this Xerion before. Looks good, runs good. Let's go down here, get this guy. See, now at 32 mile an hour, I mean, this thing's like pegged, you know. So I don't like the fact that you can't, the main display that shows your speed and your RPM, it's not quite right. I wish it was a little darker, you know, like the digits were a little darker, so it came through that, you know, that backlit screen, that white screen. So, and this is another thing I hate about hired workers, is nobody in their right mind would put the auger towards the crop. You know what I mean? Like, it seems silly to me. And if you hit left control B, it actually turns the cab around, you know, like we've seen before. And then your driving direction changes, where back is now forward and forward is now back. But see, I'll back up here. We're backwards, facing the cart. I almost wish you could put the cab would raise up, you know. But they did this for apparently dairy farmers who pack silage like this feature, because they turn the cab around, and then they got a pack. They got like a pusher blade that they put on the back of the on the 3-point, and run it that way. So I'm gonna run this guy back up, and we're gonna move on to the next thing. I've got some tillage equipment set up, and I kind of want to see how this Claas equipment will pull the big equipment in the game. The mirrors are nice. They're a little out of whack, you know. I did see there's a mirror adjustment mod on the mod hub. You might want to give that a try and see how it works in this equipment. But alright. So park this guy right here. So I got some more Xerion set up over here. Everything that's over here is Xerion 5000. So biggest horsepower you can get. Got the flex coil field cultivator here. I'm gonna stop this guy right here. And get back to what I'm doing. So, just take a little walk around. That front 3-point on there. I got the duals on. I guess that's a Xerion 5000. Holding the big flexi coil. I wish you could fold the European placards, the signs, in. But now that it's in game, I don't think it'll be long before some of the modders will Americanize this equipment by basically, you know, getting rid of all the European plaques and things like that. So I'm not going to turn 4-wheel drive on or anything because I got vehicle enhanced mod, but I'm just going to get this guy lined up here, and I'm going to lower this girl on the ground, and I want to see if it'll pull, how it'll pull. It's not bad. I mean, it's doing the job. 7 miles an hour. I mean, this is a pretty big implement, and it is intended for, you know, approximately 500 horse. Let's I'm gonna get this guy going. Let's head over to the shop once and look what that is rated for, because I didn't even pay attention to the rating. I just started setting up some equipment. So 435 horse in the base model, which is obviously the Xerion 4000. But if you bump it up to the 5000, it bumps it up to 530 horse. And then that cultivator, I want to say, just requires 500 horsepower to run. Yeah, 500 horse. So, I mean, it's well within the limitations. You know, in 6 mile an hour, while you're pulling a big cultivator like that, I mean, that's moving along at a pretty good clip. So, fold that up, and I'm going to go back and grab the planter. Man, that looks good. So I got another Xerion 5000 hooked up to the Seed Hawk. I want to see how well that pulls the Seed Hawk, and it should pull it, you know, about 7-8 mile an hour too, or also, rather. Because I want to say that's a 42 foot implement. I don't have it set on duals. I just grabbed one because it took me quite a while to get everything kind of set up off camera. So I'll get this guy pulled up here as long as I don't hit that other Xerion. I'm gonna fold this out. It takes a minute. I'll leave it set for Barley. Let's see how it pulls this, because I like to run on big Americanized maps, so I tend to buy this implement more often than not. I'm going to turn the cruise on, if it'll go. There you have it. I mean, it's 9 miles an hour. Yeah, you really can't beat that. Turn that off. Shut this off. So then over here, this cultivator is a Salford, and it pulls whatever you hook it to. It makes it, you know, its person. I mean, it pulls hard. You know, I would think it's probably as true to life as you could possibly get. So I wanted to test it on here and see how it reacts behind this 5000 series on duals. So let's give it a shot. I do like that the Xerions are a fixed frame tractor with four-wheel articulating steering instead of an articulated tractor. Get this guy folded out. Move the camera back a little bit. Yeah, because this implement says you need 500 horse, and I think you need like 600 horse. And that's not bad at all. I mean, 10 miles an hour is that's clipping through the field for sure. Man. It does not like a hired worker, though. Alright. So now that we tested out the big Xerions, the combines, I've got a bunch of grass equipment set up down here. And we're going to start going through all the other Claas equipment. So I'm going to leave this here, and I'll just drive this down to the next field down here. Yeah, 32 mile an hour, like you hook this to the grain cart, and let's say you're running a single player map and you're running course play, and you want to run grain cart. I mean, this will get you through the field pretty quick. I don't necessarily know if on grain cart duty I would put duals on it, but you know, if you're going to do tillage with it and planting with it, I wouldn't be afraid to use it. The interior textures are nice, you know, and for whatever reason, the windshields on a lot of these equipment is really hazy for whatever reason. So you see here, I got almost all the rest of the Claas lineup set up here. I got this grass field set up, so this is kind of go through all the other tractors and bunch of wheel loaders and stuff like that, telehandler, the balers. So let's see. So I got these Claas disco mowers coupled to this 870. The interiors on all these machines are exactly the same. Doesn't matter what series they are. So the dash isn't bad. It needs to be a little brighter. That primary monitor on the right, on your right side there, I wish it was a little larger maybe, or at least the information on it was a little bit larger. I mean, obviously I can see the digital readout that's in front of me, but it'd be kind of nice to see it over there as well, or at least maybe even selectable. So I'm gonna pop out and I'm gonna start getting these mowers set up here. I'm gonna go down here to the edge of the door. I'm just gonna pick a spot right here and let this guy go to town. I'm just gonna hire a worker off the bat, let him go, let him do his thing. We'll ride along with him for a minute. 13 miles an hour. I mean, that's plenty fast to mow. Looks like 2100, 1800 RPM. That shows 22 kilometers an hour. Let him do that thing. We'll zip over here and look at something else. So we've got this 870 hooked up to the 9500 cargos. If I said that right, which is a loading wagon. So I'm gonna get up in this guy and get him fired up and go over to our grass area and start rocking down this row. I'll just go over here. I'll get this guy started, fired up. Move my camera. Animations look pretty good. A little drunk there. Fill plane, it's looking pretty good. – 12 miles an hour. I mean, I think that's pretty good. I just want to look at these animations. Yeah, this is a decent sized medium frame tractor. I got the wheel weights on the back. Michelin tires. I'm gonna stop this guy. I'm gonna go over and grab one of the balers. Yeah, that screen. I mean, you can read it. I can, but but I don't know how well it shows up on video. It's probably a little small. So let's go grab one of these balers here. Let's first start off with the big baler, the 5300 quadrant. And then I should have that. This is coupled to a, what looks like a 660. Let's go move around over here. I got my speed turned up way too high. Way too high. What is this? Arion 660. So this would be probably be a considered a small frame, or maybe a medium frame, and then the 870 would be considered one of their large frame tractors. It's a nice looking baler. I don't even think the tractors look all that bad. Let's this guy going. Oh, I'm not even. There we go. I gotta move over since I was drunk driving that loading wagon. You know, it should be. I should have windrow. You know, this should be in a windrow, but since I'm just picking it up from the ground. See, if they took that far right monitor and moved all the information from the main screen to where the GPS, you know, is, I would have enjoyed that a lot more. You know, because that screen's quite a bit larger, what seems more vibrant. You know, a selectable screen, like information screen, would be really nice. I mean, the chances of that happening now are slim to none, but I mean, overall, you know, it's got a halfway decent interior. I don't necessarily know what's up with this defroster on the back window. You can't open any of the windows or doors, which seems strange. You know, in 17 we had IC controls or mouse controls to open, close the doors and the windows and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. Yeah, let's watch this cool. Let's kind of pop a bale out here. They got everything working. The bale textures are in, you know, stock in game, so I'm gonna shut this guy off, pick that up, and I'm gonna go back and go grab the round baler. That round baler's got a wrapper on it, so grab the next piece, and I'll find a spot up here to unload this bale, or these bales. It's actually two. And for whatever reason, that mower just decided to stop. Don't know what his deal is. Dump these off right here. by where I got the loaders parked. Not a bad machine, really. Not a bad machine at all. Alright. The 455 Roland Unirapper with another 660. I got this one sitting on Nokians. You know, not bad. Overall, not a bad looking machine on the outside. I just got it. You can select foil color if you want. I gotta drop the pickup down. Get this thing straightened out. Get it fired up. And all the controls should be the same. So we'll go down through here and get the first bale and then let it wrap. And let's hope that as soon as it's full, so it'll kick it out for you. Wrap that bale. Now the next thing I want to know is, do you have to eject it? Probably. Yeah. Eject the bale. We'll make one more. That'll give us a couple of bales to test out the loaders with. Going down through this windrow here. Yeah, for whatever reason, those front-mounted mowers leave a nice, somewhat windrow, and then the rear-mounted twin mowers always like cast it out widespread. Not sure really what's up with that. So I want to know if you keep driving. Yeah, it will. I'll pick that up as soon as it's done wrapping. Well, I'm going to leave it on there, and I'm going to run back here and stop by this other wrap bale. Dump it off. And then we'll go test a couple of them loaders out. And after that, we're going to head over to this cornfield off to the right. And I got a chopper set up over there. I also have another self-propelled chopper that actually has the mower head on it. So we'll test that out as well. Dump that off. Come over back here to where the loaders are. And start going through some of these. I mean, really, in this pack, there is definitely something for every sized operation, you know. There's quite a bit of equipment in here. So, there are 3 different sized wheel loaders. You got this baby little guy, the Torion 639, this intermediate 956 Torion, and then you got the big 1914. So, I would imagine, you know, if you're doing a cattle operation or something to that effect, you know, having this little tiny little Torion would be very helpful, you know, in the barn and stuff like that. So, you know, it's a small little loader. I got the in-game stole bale wrap, the wrapped bale grapple on it. You know, nice basic interior, nothing fancy, nice big windows. You know, that's something I definitely like. A little loud, but you know, it'll do the job for sure. So, you know, and I want to say it's got, you know, I mean, it's got a nice, decent lifting height. So, let's hop in the cab here. Let's go grab these two little rat bales. 14 miles an hour. I mean, you know, running around inside of a small farm, you know, if you're running a real small operation, even on a, you know, like a European style map, this is a decent little machine. You know, yeah, it's not going to win you no race. It's not speedy at all, but you know, it's small, nimble. You know, work around the farm. You know, cattle operation. You know, your sheep, chickens. Grab a hold of this thing, we'll pick it up. So I mean, it'll pick up a, you know, a wrapped bale, which is good. So I was kind of curious to see if it would even do it because it's such a small machine. But you know, single bale at a time should be fine. Small bucket should be more than enough. I'm gonna go put this over by these other two bales over here. Really, that's how it should, you know, it should be upright because you want to grab it like a paper clamp, you know. I wasn't even into it all the way. Open these up. There we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. Set this down. Open these jaws back up. We'll go grab that other one real quick. Bring it over here and poke around with a couple of these other ones, and then we'll move on to the next thing. This map has been it's been pretty nice. I've been basically checking it out, and I've kind of been using it as my test map for things. And I thought, why not give you guys a little peek at what's out there. I believe this is available from Expendables modding the map, the Southern Minnesota. It's kind of, you know, the PDA map is still unfinished, you know, and it's a good, you know, it's a standard size, excuse me, it's a standard size map, so single player should be fine. The fields are huge, you know, use Courseplay. You probably want to rely on Courseplay a lot because the fields are so big. But, you know, if you like big equipment, big open fields, this is a decent map to play. Yeah, go ahead and hit it. Open the jaws up. We'll park this guy over here. Let's go look at the next one. The 956. Now, when I first started driving this, and I'm going to do this from the outside of the cab, so it's still an articulated machine, but the rear axle also turns. So it's got a super tight turning radius. I'm going to pick this boom up a little bit. Yeah, as I turn the machine, you see that the rear axle actually turns, pivots. So it cuts the turning radius down even more. I wonder if it'll let me go over here and pick up some of this grass if I just put this bucket on the ground. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to set the bucket on the ground and drive forward a little bit. This is totally unrealistic. This is just the in-game high lift bucket. Nothing special. Let's see if we can dump it in this loading wagon. Yeah. That's not too bad. A little short. But, you know, if you're still small on space, this, I mean, I do like the tight turning radius of this machine. You know, and I'd like to know, and I might have to read up on this myself to know if it's like that in real life. You know, interior's not bad. That little display screen's a little small, but I mean, overall the textures doesn't seem real bad. Small cat. I do like it's got nice big windows. And I use a steering wheel, joysticks, the whole 9 yards, and I got, there we go. So I try to play as real as I can. Let's look at this big girl. What's this other one got on it? Bale fork. Yeah. So this 1914. I got the Nokians on it as well. I mean, it's a nice looking loader. Let's get in here and nice big, I could do without the Claas right in front of your face, but see, like the screen up on the upper right hand side, that should be like your speed and bucket position and stuff like that. And this other one is just, it's so small and it's in such a strange spot that it's almost useless, really. So let's go over here, and I mean, it'll pick these bales up, no problem. This is a big machine. This would be doing your silage work and so on. Because this, you come over to you got the bucket on here, and you come over to a large size, loading wagon, just a grain trailer or whatever. I mean, you're going to definitely be able to, dump whatever you're working with into the box, I put the Nokians on it because it actually gave it a little bit, in the store, it gave it what appeared to be a little bit more height, mean, it's a decent, you know, graphically, it's a decent piece. So then we got here, we got the little Scorpion 1033 telehandler. I tend to use a telehandler a lot because, you know, you can stack bales with it inside of a shed, and, you know, you can pull a little trailer behind it. And usually the telehandlers have a little bit better lighting for when you're working at night. This one's even got a little hitch pin up front, so you can, you know, attach a trailer and actually like push it backwards into your barn or something like that. So you know, I do like I said, I like having mirrors that work. You know, that load chart, that's pretty nice, man. I mean, they've come a long way with the models. So we'll come over here and pick up one of these silage bales with it. I got the bale fork sitting on here anyway. Stab this bale. It goes. Don't lose the bale. I mean, look at the reach on that thing. That is crazy. The in-game telehandlers don't reach that high because they only have a single stage stick. You know, this has got a two-stage boom. So I would imagine if you're like dumping silage or something like that, you're gonna want to come up with a modded weight on the back, because you're definitely gonna tip that machine over. Get back in the in-cab view. Yeah, I mean, man, that thing goes a long, long way. I mean, just look at that. Awesome. This one I got a silage fork on. You know, I don't have a silage bunker on this map because I don't have any cattle. But if you didn't know, you can even move bales with the silage fork. You can still go up and stab a bale and move a bale with it. Not saying that you could necessarily stack it, but, you know, let's say you got a stack of bales in the field. You know, you could move some serious bales with this. Serious bales with that. Alright, I'm going to grab this 960 Axion, coupled to a 760 Cargos, and we're going to go over to where the choppers are set up. We're going to go through them a little bit, and then we're going to get this video finished up. That loader right there, because I pre-ordered the Claas pack, I got this loader, which they call the Dev Mule, and then that old 180 Claas Combine as a like an added bonus. And I just grabbed the in-game header attachment and the Claas corn header. And it'll, you know, it'll pick this header up, you know, no problem. Say you wanted to load it on a flatbed or something like that. But it comes included when if you pre-ordered it. I think if you're going to buy it now, I don't necessarily know if they're going to include it with that. I hope they will. You know, because it's just an added piece. I mean, it looks kind of funky. It is what it is. So, over here, I got both of the self-propelled choppers. I've got the Jaguar 980 with the Direct Disc 500. This will mow, and this will also chaff all your other crops, all your cereal crops, if you wish. And then I've got the 960 Jag on tracks with the Orbis 900 corn chopper. So they do have hitches on the back. They will not hook up to any of the other Claas trailers because it uses a different style hitch, which I find stupid. You know, the Claas equipment should be able to hook up to the Claas equipment, but I just grabbed in-game, one of the in-game trailers here, and both of these have the extended length pipes on them. So first I'm going to start off with this guy. Let's get in the cab. Let's start it up. We got it going. I do like how big the screen is. You know, some of the information, you know, is kind of illegible, but $9 miles an hour is not bad. Self-propelled's nice, you know, do the edge of the fields or something like that, around irregular fields or what have you. Not too bad. Typical turning radius. You know, nothing that you shouldn't already expect, other than the fact that it's a, you know, an added manufacturer in the game. You know, for all you Claas fans out there. Get this guy. Turn this off. Put the pipe back in. And move on to our final piece. I mean, this is a sick looking machine, you know, with the tracks and everything. Air horns. Craziness. Does it say shredlage? Right? It sure does. Shredlage. Same cab, you know, same, really overall same machine. It's more horsepower, but you know, it's got that, like, that screen in the very upper right. So it's got what looks like a camera, but it doesn't function. Why didn't you make it function like a mirror? You know what I mean? Like, it seems foolish. You know, again, something else that's half done. I'm gonna get this header opened up. Get lined up in this corn. We're going to chop some silage. Well, I'm going to hire a worker to run the chopper. We're going to run alongside it and let it do its thing. That's why I brought this Cargos over here. So we'll run alongside him, let him chop some silage. That Orbis 900 is a nice big chopper head, so I mean, you should be able to chop some serious silage in a short period of time. I'm going to turn the... Let's try to match his speed. That's a nice looking chopper. Decent piece. Probably definitely gonna be adding it to my single player and my Let's Plays. Jacked him up, so because I pulled in front of him and knocked over that sign with utter disregard for public safety. But what I want to know is if I can pull this tractor in behind him, and will he keep going? Because some of these self-propelled choppers don't like it when you're traveling behind, but I put the extended length pipe on it, so we should be able to just truck here behind him let it fill, because that ditch on the left is a little mighty. Yeah, looks good. Animations look good. Not too bad. So on that note, get this guy turned around, get up out of here, head back over where the rest of this equipment is, and I'm going to end this video. So let me know what you think of this Claas equipment. You gonna possibly thinking of picking up the Platnium DLC? Maybe you're on the fence a little bit about it. It was $20 plus tax. I purchased mine through Steam, so I don't have to worry about updates or something like that. It just automatically updates when it needs to be done. And yeah, I mean, for what, for the $20 I spent US, plus tax, there's a lot of equipment for $20. So, some added equipment into the game, give you a little change to what we got. So on that note, let me know what you think. I appreciate everybody watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of this video. I know it's a little long. I ran over an hour, but there was a lot of equipment to go through, and just run it around and check it out. I just got the DLC today. So, yeah. On that note, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.